and welcome to Side Character Quest, the show that's, one-on-one Dungeons and Dragons. It's kind of improvised. It's set in a world very, very loosely based on the southeast environs of the United States of America. America. A place. Hey, with me today is a very special guest from 3 different D&D or related adjacent shows. How about you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Faye. I am very excited to be here with Who Are You?
I am Ty. Thank you for catching that I had introduced my name. So for a little behind the scenes for the listener, we've done a couple of versions of this because we had a little bit of connection problems. But who cares about that? What we truly care about, what you, the listener, I'm looking into your soul right now. What you care about is, hey Faye, how did you get into D&D in the first place?
Yeah, so I first got into D&D about 10 years ago now. Wow, that's a really long time. 2008, 2009, I was in college, and actually 2 people that I play with now, Brendan and Ishan, from How the Quest Was Won, which is one of the shows that I'm in.
Very good plug, very professional.
Thank you. They got me into Dungeons & Dragons. Brendan had been playing since, I don't know, probably like 2.5 or something like that, and got me into Dungeons & Dragons, and I've been playing ever since. So I started with 3.5, went into 4E, and now we're playing 5E.
So as just curious, I've only personally played 4.3, I think, and then 5E. What's like your favorite of the ones that you've done?
So I really enjoy the storytelling aspect of Dungeons and Dragons, and I also don't necessarily make my characters to be very good in combat necessarily. So I would have to say that my favorite is probably 5E. I do like that they have simplified a lot of the mechanics.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, and they've also made, I think, storytelling much more in the forefront. But I think, 4E, for example, I think there was a lot, it was very combat heavy.
Oh, yeah.
And 3.5, I felt like, having played a little bit of it, it's just very easy to die. Apparently you could get to, you could die if you just like got to -10 instead of minus God. Like half your HP, which is I think how you die now.
Yeah.
So
that's rough.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Yeah, geez. I like I said, I've only done 4E, and I really just very quickly fell in love with 5E. I do all of my sessions, even my sessions that are in person. I do them via like Theater of the Mind play, and I feel like 4E that would just be not possible.
Right.
This is the only way to do it for me. Let's talk a little bit about the character you're going to be playing today.
Yeah, sure. So today I'm going to be playing Larissa, who is a level 6 sorcerer. She is a tiefling with a bronze draconic background.
Ooh, cool.
Yes.
So the world that Side Character Quest is set in, tieflings are very, very uncommon. They do exist, but like in most places, they are like so uncommon to the point of like the average person wouldn't know about them, wouldn't know what you were if they saw you. The place that you're living might be a little bit different, but yeah, tell me like how has that affected Larissa's life? Like, have they more hid on the outskirts of society? Have they like hid their features? Like how have they dealt with that?
Yeah, I think, her background is definitely someone who I would say is kind of a thief. So she definitely has been hiding from society in general.
Okay.
She kind of has like a Robin Hood kind of complex where like society has wronged her, especially the people of the upper crust, let's say. Gotcha. Because I think, not having a lot of tieflings, I think there's probably a little bit of discrimination there. They're probably not in the upper crust of society. Mm-hmm. And so she has this Robin Hood complex of I'm going to steal from the rich and give back to the poor, and it's not wrong to steal from people who have more.
Gotcha. You mentioned that you mentioned to me off air that Larissa has some sort of like mentor in her past that wronged her in some way. Can you tell me a little bit about like who they were, what their relationship was before things fell apart?
Yes. So I don't have this completely filled out.
That's perfectly fine.
But I thought that this person could be someone who actually was of high society and decided that one day they were going to do something for the greater good and take in this orphan tiefling and teach this orphan tiefling, everything that she or he knows. So I think I'll leave that up to you to kind of say like which type of person would be in the wealthier groups of society in this world, but whether that be male, female, whatever race.
Yeah, so the world that this is set in, like all of the species that are in the player's handbook, all of the default ones, with the exception of half-orcs, and the addition of goblins, all of those would be, just normal people that this character could be, but we'll let the story flesh that out.
Yeah.
A little bit more of their background as time goes on. But yeah. So one thing that I like to do before we get into the show is like to give the character a boon item, just like some little magical item that they can start with. I'll give you a small list, and you can just choose one of those items and just tell me where you got it from, like how your character got it. And yes, I will cut out all of this dead air.
Yes, sorry, I'm just reading them. All right. I think I'm going to take the Hummingbird of Baird.
Nice. I like that one.
It's a small jeweled hummingbird. When activated, it will fly 40 feet speed in any direction. It cannot pick up things on its own and cannot support more than a pound of additional weight. It makes a loud buzzing noise. It will obey any command preceded by as Baird commands. After 10 minutes of flight, it cannot be used for a day.
And how did you come across this in your travels?
So, I was given this by my mentor in the past. My mentor was someone who thought that adopting a child would be much easier than it was. And so, thought, well, I'm going to be doing something for the greater good by adopting this orphan tiefling. But it turns out, as Larissa grew up, she was a little mischievous in her teenage years, as many teenagers are wont to do, and probably got into a little bit more trouble than the common teenager would by stealing things and becoming part of the Thieves Guild and things like that. And so her mentor abandoned her and decided that they no longer wanted to support her lifestyle. And so she feels very betrayed by that.
Gotcha. So with that in mind, you probably grew up in or around one of the larger cities. So you might have grown up at Mount Rena, or you might have grown up near Cirque. But with all that sort of history, that background in mind, you've landed at sort of the home of the exiles, the Salten Sea, which is a place of all sorts of outcasts, outlaws, miscreants, and just people that don't fit in with regular society for whatever reason. But tonight, what a lovely night tonight is. You find yourself on a small rocky outpost on the border between the Salten Sea and the Wall. The sun is setting fast, and the salty wind is hauling away the scalding heat and replacing it with something. Well, it's not cool. It's not cold air. It's still hot air, but it's not quite scalding air. It's a little bit easier on the skin. So several ships rock against the dock, including the piece of trash that you rode in on. But hey, it got you here. You were barely able to navigate solo on it. But if you're going to keep going, and you want to keep going, you aren't going to be able to continue on by yourself. There really isn't that much to this place, but it's a pretty great place to find a crew. No one's going to start too much trouble. Not here, not with pancakes around. You feel at the heft of a small leather cylinder at your waist, Inside of it, rolled up parchment marking the location of what you believe to be the biggest score of your time as a thief. X marks the spot, all that jazz. So now it's time to rustle up a few hardy souls to help you on your way. What do you do right now? What do you want to know?
So I'm standing outside. I am gonna look for some person, a soldier, someone who looks like they have been here for a while, to find the noisiest tavern in town.
Gotcha. Your passive perception, I assume is over 10, unless you are incredibly unperceptive.
Yes, it's 12.
Yes. Okay. Your back is to the docks that you just walked off of. Your crappy boat is back there on the dock, and in front of you, you see maybe, I don't know, a football field away. You see just this gigantic wall, impossibly high. Between you and that wall is just a bunch of rocky shoreline, essentially. And on that shoreline, you see a few scattered buildings. Mm-hmm. They look almost like they've been made from the remnants of crashed ships. And you know this place to be, just this spot that has popped up some time ago as just a very popular place to stop because of a very busy tavern right ahead of you, right near the docks, that is the home to Pancakes.
No, lovely. Is there a sign outside that says the name of the tavern by any chance?
It says IHOP.
Excellent. Okay. All right, so Larissa has never been to an IHOP, but given how loud and rowdy it sounds from the outside, she thinks that it's probably the perfect place to pick up some crew members, given that this is probably where most sailors go after dark.
Yeah.
So she is going to march right up and walk through those front doors.
All right. So you walk through a couple of front doors. There's old barnacles sort of on the outside wall as you walk in, displaying this building's history as a shipwreck. And as you step inside, though, roll me a perception check.
All right, so that is a 12.
Okay, great. Passive perception.
Yep.
So looking around, you see all sorts of people. You see some people playing mandolin. You notice that most of the crowd is Dragonborn, which is pretty standard for the Salten Sea, which is a very heavily Dragonborn region. But you do also notice a few, a couple of goblin, a few humans, or maybe they're elves. It's kind of hard to tell in the low lighting, and just lots of laughter, beers, drinks, and tons of just plates and plates of pancakes. You also notice behind the bar a large, muscled person, and he has this massive griddle behind him, and has just dozens and dozens of circles of batter sizzling away on that griddle. But yeah, so is there any particular type of person you're looking for right now?
Not particularly. I'm gonna scope out the place. So I think I'm gonna walk up to the bar or wherever this person is grilling up all these pancakes.
All right. So this is you walk up to the bar, and right as you're doing that, this person has turned around to flip a couple and pass off a few to people. Have you ever been to this bar before?
Never.
Is this a place? Never. This is your first time. As you are sitting down, tell me a little bit about what you look like. We mentioned that you're a tiefling, so a little bit unusual, but this is the Salten Sea. Like, people aren't gonna say too much. Yeah,
so she, being a bronze, having like a bronze dragon background, she probably has like a bronzish brown hair and similar colored eyes, and her skin is probably like a copper colored skin. Yeah, she's got her horns going, tail, probably like medium build, 5'6", 5'7".
Okay.
Not particularly muscular.
As you go over, sit down, the tall man behind the bar, he turns around. You notice that one of his ears has a pretty gnarly scar, almost as if he has clipped off the end of it. The other ear is covered with long hair, and he looks at you, puts his hands down on the bar in front of you. What'll you be having today?
Hi there. I guess I'll be having some pancakes. What do you call this place? IHOP?
This here is the International House of Pirates. I am Pancakes, and as you can see, my wares behind me. I happily oblige. He turns back around and starts flipping a few, and he tells you how much they cost, and it's within your budget.
Okay.
I'll say. Yeah, so he's just flipping some over, getting some prepared for you.
Hey, listen, you said your name was Pancakes?
Yes, ma'am. My name's Pancakes. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Well, what does your name be?
My name is Larissa.
Hello.
Hello. So, Pancakes, you seem to have a lovely establishment here, and you seem to have some very lovely patrons. I am actually looking for about 5 to 6 souls to help me sail my ship. So people who are familiar with the sea, people who are familiar with sails, and who would like to make a good living before getting back onto land. Do you know of any such people?
Well, let's see. He turns around, slides down a kind of dirty plate, plops down 3 or 4 flapjacks in front of you, and slides over a little jar of syrup. Well, let's see. There's quite a few people around here. Do you have any particular needs? Are you looking for I don't know. How? Listen, we can be upfront here. How upright and lawful are you looking right now?
Well, let's just say we can use 2 or 3 people who know how to hold themselves up in the middle of a fight. And probably another 2 or 3 people that are real sneaky like, if you catch my drift.
Okay. He looks around, points out a few different folks, gestures over towards some goblins that are in the corner. Don't let their size deceive you. Those folks over there, they can handle themselves pretty well. I've seen that guy right there. He has bitten straight through somebody's ankle once. I swear, straight through. That lady over there, that dragonborn, she is quite good with a knife. Any of these folks will probably be able to be a help for you. You planning on paying these folks up front? I mean, we could post up a little note in the back on the board if you want, and just see who comes a calling, or however you want to do this.
I like to handpick my crew.
Gotcha.
I don't want this broadcasted necessarily.
All right, understand. I appreciate that sort of under the table kind of slyness. It's good stuff.
These are delicious flapjacks, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much. They are my pride and joy. To be honest, leans in close. To be honest, I prefer making waffles, but I broke my waffle iron, and so one day did that. Had to make some pancakes for a while, and the nickname kind of stuck. And well, here we are. Kind of hard to back out of that once it happens, you know.
Yeah. Well, listen, Pancake. You've been really kind to me. So let's just say that if I make it back from my trip with the amount of money that I'm thinking of making from my trip, I'll get you a nice waffle iron.
Well, that is mighty kind of you. I think I could arrange for you to meet a few folks. Actually, roll me a charisma check real quick. I want to see how much he appreciates that.
Absolutely. Oh, that is a 19 plus.
Ooh.
Charisma, I will add 7. So that is a 26.
Woo.
Whew, she's like flipping her hair, like eyes are twinkling.
If there is anyone at this bar, if there's any particular skills you are looking for, any particular type of thing, I will definitely make sure that that I will point you in the right direction. So what I am saying to you right now in this moment, give me like Give me a couple of types of people that you definitely want with you on this trip. So we're gonna assume that that you can probably find. I'm not gonna make you go through the process of finding like, all 6 people that you need to have on this boat.
Yeah.
But give me like 2 types of people that you would like to have once you get where you're going. Once you get to the island that you guys are going to get your score. So are you specifically wanting like somebody that's really good at magic stuff? Are you particularly wanting somebody that's like a very good fighter, or what? What are you looking for?
So I think some people to compliment me. So I'd like someone who's like a really good tank in case we get into a fight.
Okay.
Since I'm not a great tank. And I'd love someone who is great at like survival and like nature and things like that. So kind of a ranger type of person to be able to help us find this treasure.
All right. Sounds good. So I wanted to kind of play with something today, which I haven't. Here's a little behind the scenes thing for you and for the listener as well. Every time I do a different arc, there's like something, I like to do something to challenge myself in a new way. And what I thought I would try to do this time is work with the player to create the cast that would be joining them on their main session. So what I'd like you to do with this tanky and this tanky character and this survival character, tell me their name, tell me like any bits of background that you want for them, and I will incorporate when I'm playing them.
Excellent. For the tank, I would like for her, because I want it to be a very large dragonborn or human, you pick, but someone who's just like she's a large woman, at least like 6'4".
Okay.
Probably didn't choose this life for herself, probably wanted to be like preppy and things like that, but really, found out that this is what she was good at. She was good at hitting things. And so she kind of just fell into that role. And so is dressed in armor and things like that, but probably has like a few things, like her sword probably has like a pink tassel on it,
Nice.
And so she probably spends a lot of her money on things like makeup and clothes, but is still a very good fighter and a very good tank. So that's kind of where I want her to be.
That is very good. I like that a lot.
Yeah. And in terms of this ranger, I'd like for this ranger to just be, doesn't matter gender, but I would say for this to be an older person who's very gregarious and probably initially grew up like on a farm before they for some reason or other was forced to go into a forest and had to learn how to track things down. And so speaks to everything, probably talks to like the plants if he could or she could.
I like that a lot.
I think that I'm pretty sure for the older person, I'm gonna use a voice kind of like this, a little bit strained, but just talking to everything.
And could strike up a conversation with like a chair,
Oh, hello, pancakes. How are you doing today? I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to what's on my plate. So good, so delicious. I love it. Thank you for entering my mouth right now. Oh, glorious day.
Okay. And then for the Dragonborn, I feel like I should go Dragonborn since I've specified that this is an area that's largely populated by them.
Oh yeah.
So we'll say that. For the farmer, did you specify species?
No, doesn't matter.
I'll say goblin.
All right, excellent.
It's one of the ones that you saw off talking to the one that gnaws on ankles.
Okay. All right.
For the Dragonborn, I'll figure out her voice later. So do you have any preference? Yeah?
Oh, I was going to say, can you go Brooklyn at all?
Oh boy, can I? Let's find out. Hey, how's no, oh boy.
It's okay if you don't. I pictured like someone, like Brooklyn tough. Hey, I'm walking over here.
Is this okay? Is this kind of wait? Can I do a Christopher Walken kind of thing?
Oh, you can absolutely do Christopher Walken.
Wow. Hello, this is me, Dragonborn. I love the makeup and the tassels, but most of all, I love doing what I'm good at, living the life of a fighter, take all kinds of hits. It's wonderful. This is what I'm good. Oh, hi. Okay. I like it. I like it.
This is so great.
Oh boy. Okay. As the night goes on, Pancakes has introduced you to these other characters, these other people. Let's just have the conversation with those two where you convince them to come along with you. Mm-hmm. He points out the ranger type. He's this goblin, short on the taller side for a goblin, which means still fairly short. He is just sort of sitting there.
Well, just absolutely delicious. Oh, syrup, jar, so good. Love it. Oh man.
That's when you walk over to them to get a conversation going. How do you do this?
Hi there. You mind if I sit down next to you and enjoy my pancakes?
Go right ahead, but make sure you don't sit down too hard. Oh, Christopher here, he's a bit of a softwood kind of situation. He'll collapse right under you. You gotta be careful.
Got it. Mm-hmm. I sit down very gingerly. What's your name?
Oh, my name? My name's Remy.
Remy, lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you as well. If you don't mind me asking, are you dragonborn? What is this situation? I'm sorry if that's rude. I'm from a kind of a small town. Some might say that I grew up on a farm and had to move out somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm. No, I'm not a dragonborn. I'm a tiefling.
Oh,
there's not a lot of us around, and so I get a lot of questions. That's okay.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Listen, Remy.
Yep.
I was talking to Pancakes over there, and he tells me that you are a pretty good tracker.
Oh, well, I don't like to boast, but that's a lie. I do like to boast. I'm very good at it. I'm very good at the boasting and at the tracking. Awesome. Both of those things. Yes.
Remy, what do you think you're going to be doing for the next couple months?
Next couple months? Oh, just sitting here waiting for somebody to need a tracker. Here's the thing. What was that name again? Larissa?
Larissa,
did you say that?
Yes.
Larissa. Here's the thing. When you're on an island that's mostly rocks and sand and pancakes, people don't really need trackers that much. There's not a lot to track. So I kind of would love if somebody had a boat and wanted me to come with them because I've been here for a really long time.
Well, listen, Remy, today is your lucky day because I am in fact in need of a tracker.
Really?
I am.
Really, then?
Yes.
Oh, what for?
Let's take this conversation into a back room here, because I don't know if everybody in this bar needs to listen to this conversation.
So after you've talked with Remy, had a nice little conversation with them, Pancakes points out a dragonborn that's standing in the corner, wearing pretty full, actually plate armor that has gilding on it that looks like just a rose gold almost, but still very well worn, well used. It's not just for looks. This is actually gotten its use, and she has a heavy looking sword at her side, and he suggests her as a potential person to work with. So you want to go talk to her?
I would love to go talk to her, and I think Larissa's gonna walk by her, pretend like she's noticing something else, and then look at her plate armor and says, "Excuse me, miss, can I just say that you look lovely in that plate armor? I know that plate armor isn't just for looks, but you look lovely in your plate armor tonight."
Wow, thank you so much. That is the kindest thing I've heard all day that I'm able to repeat. Very, very appreciated. This is not a savory place. I'm gonna cut that.
No, maybe best if you leave it in.
What's your name, miss? Let me provide you with a little something to drink.
Oh, well, thank you. My name is Larissa. What's in the, what kind of drink is this?
That is a whiskey with a little bit of honey and salt around the rim. Very good in my personal opinion.
Oh, excellent. Well, cheers.
Cheers. She clinks her glass against yours, and she just like chugs it.
Oh.
Like, you know.
I don't think I can do that. I think I just have to take like a sip.
Yeah, she's also given you like a comically large glass.
Okay.
By the way, like for you, like this would be like 3 drinks for you.
I'm probably holding
but
it in
she
both
just like
hands.
takes it down.
What did you say your name was?
Oh, my name. I will go with my name is Celeste.
Celeste.
Yes, ma'am. Happy to meet you.
Happy to meet you. Now, Celeste, I don't like to judge on looks because I think a lot of people judge me on my looks, given that I'm a tiefling. But you look like you're a fighter of some kind.
Well, I don't like to brag or boast, but that's a lie. I love to brag and boast. I'm very good at both. Thank you for noticing.
So, Celeste, I know, you know, this is a pretty great place, IHOP, with lots of pancakes and good drinks, definitely. But I wanted to know, what are you thinking of doing for your life for the next couple months?
Well, to be perfectly honest, I'm hooked up with this crew, and you look over and just see this like really like ratty looking group of a few dragonborn, a couple of what looks like maybe a human and a half elf, and a couple goblins, and they just look like very like dirty and smelly. These folks, not really my type, but you know, what makes you the money is what you gotta do. You understand?
Well, you know, again, pardon my assumptions based on looks, Celeste, but you don't really look like the type of girl that would want to hang out with people like that. So let me ask you something. If someone else provided you with a job that potentially could pay you as much or perhaps more than those folks over there, would you think about changing where you're at?
I'd say that it's worth hearing out. I'd love to hear more.
All right, well, let's go into the back room. Like I said, I don't think the entire bar needs to hear everything about what's going on, but I happen to be here and I happen to need a crew.
So you guys, you two, head back into the back room of this bar. It's not you know, really a back room. It's more of just like a side section, a sort of more private dining area. That's a small, maybe, I don't know, like a brig or something. Some remnant of the fact that this is just a thrown together ship hull that's been kind of cobbled together of random pieces. But you guys go back there and you tell them about this. You tell them in turn this map that you found a while back. Tell me real quick, where did you get this map?
I filched it off of a rather important looking gentleman on his way to court.
So you filched this off of a very important looking gentleman, and you spent some time trying to figure out exactly where this place was located. It involved a lot of cross-referencing of the shape of this island with various other islands that were marked that were tracked on the Salten Sea, looking for mentions of the sorts of buildings that you saw on that map. But you eventually were able to figure out where you believe this map is, where it fits into the landscape of the Salten Sea. This map depicts the remnants of a mansion that is located off of Ossaway Island, a former indigo farm that was located deep in the Salten Sea before the place got rowdy a few hundred years ago. And you, as to the best of your ability, the best of what you've been able to find out, as far as you know, no one has been back there since the place closed down, and you have strong reason to believe that there's going to be some nice remnants left over in that mansion. So you need a crew to get you to that place and to navigate that island, to deal with the menagerie that the farm used to have for entertainment, and which now you are guessing is roaming the island. So you relay that onto your crew, and with a little bit of prodding, a little bit of threatening to make sure that they stay silent, you have yourself a set of 5 or 6 folks who are going to help you navigate your way to this place.
Excellent.
As the night is coming to an end, and as we prepare to wrap up this episode, this introduction episode, what do you do this day before you, or this night before you set sail?
I think I'm going to be gathering some supplies, because now I need to feed 6 people and not just myself. Probably a lot of pancakes.
Very good.
And some whiskey onto the boat.
Excellent.
And I will also get myself a room at IHOP. I'm assuming it's also a place where you could sleep.
As things go, yeah, sure.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Well, I guess as that happens, you throw a few gold pancakes away, and you get a few barrels of supplies loaded onto the ship as the night is getting later and later. Fortunately, this is the sort of place where people are operating at all hours of the night. Eventually, though, you do turn in with dreams of the fortune to come. And I think that is where we are going to wrap things up today. I know this might be a little short, but I think that it's okay. Yeah, this is a little short, but that's fine.
Okay.
All right, well, thank you very much for joining me today, Faye.
Thank you. This was lots of fun.
Yeah. So we are going to explore more with Larissa at Osaway Island next time. In the meantime, tell the listeners where they can find you.
Sure. You can find me on Twitter at Captain Fake Eye. You can also find me at my other podcast, How the Quest Was Won, on Twitter at How the Quest, and my other podcast, Misfits Guide to Adventuring, also on Twitter at Misfits Guide. And finally, you can find me Wednesdays at 7 p.m. over at twitch.tv/Scraticus, streaming masks.
Nice. Listeners, if you are bored at any time in the next 2 weeks while we're waiting for this to come out, you have no one to blame but yourself. We just gave you all of this stuff to listen to. There's so much out there. Check it out. So yeah, thank you again, Faye, for joining us. For now, we're gonna pitter-patter on out of here. Thanks to the Joy Drops for the use of Not Drunk as our intro and outro music. Find them at thejordrops.com. You can find us at sidecharacterquest.com, at SCQ Podcast on Twitter, or by email at sidecharacterquest@gmail.com.
The Scavengers Network.
Creator-driven,
community-focused,
Treasured content.
Podcube, podcasts from the past delivered to the future.
With Podcube's pseudo-linear 4D adiabatic qubit streaming technology, you can select any point in history and record it for personal gain.
What was the group dynamic with Australopithecus?
What brand of cigarettes did the Spanish Inquisition smoke?
Was Leonardo da Vinci a pants guy?
Or a shorts guy?
You can discover with Podcube.
Listen for yourself to the flagship Podcube podcast, Alabaster's Haberdashery, recorded on location in 1880.
Simply search Podcube, all one word, in your podcast app. Or visit poweredbypodcube.com.
Podcube, the future is yesterday.
This is gonna get cut and put in the bloopers.
Oh, is that a kitty back there?
Yes, yeah, he has jumped onto my computer, and you may not be up here right now. Nope, you may not be up here right now.
Very nice. We have a history of cats wandering in during recordings.
Yes.
I don't have any, but a lot of the guests have had them, and they're lovely. Appreciated. Listener, if you complain, boo on you. Cats are delightful. Well, anyway.
Okay, that's fair. All right, pretty cool. Pretty cool. I approve.
Thank you. I definitely am seeking approval.
Yeah. Well, you got it. You got it.
He does not catch on that sarcasm at all. Just
Yeah. Oh, okay.
so. Do you want to keep that going, or do you want to skip ahead to the tanky person?
Yeah. We can skip ahead.
We can fade out and then come back in, because that way we don't have to explain.
Well, we can explain to the tanky person, and it'll be the same explanation for everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So music going down. So I do a lot of editing on the show.
Yeah.
I cut out a lot. So all of this conversation that we're having right now, where I'm saying how do I want to format this? This is all going to go away.
Yeah.
It's going to look seamless.
Love it.
So beautiful.
Love it.
Man, I could never do. You mentioned doing a streaming show.
Yeah.
I could never do that. It would make me so nervous.